Good morning, fam. Now, today, we are doing nothing as per usual. Look at this guy. You're just a walking machine, aren't you? It's the big one. You're gonna tell everybody how you've been?
Good.
Good. Oh yes, that's nice, getting that all over my bed.
Yeah.
Ta! My actor. Well, I'm gonna brush my teeth and then we're gonna take this kid to kindy.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I've got no plans today, so I thought I might do a sit down with you guys at home and maybe tell you a little story. What that story is, I don't know. So we're gonna go home, we're gonna clean the house, because I can't stand having a messy house. It just brings my whole well-being down, my whole aura for the day, the way I feel, the motivation, everything like just drags it down. When it's cluttered in my physical realm, it's cluttered in my psychological realm. I just love this age, hey? Love it. I love when they're just so interactive and they're learning and they're picking up everything and they're starting to talk and communicate in different ways. Like Kraken and Nani. I just... I love it. Hello, honey. I think he's tired. He found his dummy and he was resting on his little couch. You say hello. Hello. So there's something that I've been wanting to talk about in a vlog for a while now, and I haven't because it's kind of a taboo subject. Not that it's taboo, but people just seemingly don't want to talk about these things. It is dun, 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 menstrual cups. So if you don't want to hear about periods and menstrual cups and all that kind of jazz, just flick forward. Yeah, I got a Diva cup for $35 at Woolworths. It might have even been 30 at the time, I'm not sure, but it was on sale anyway. And I'd been wanting to try one for a while. I don't skip periods. I'm not on birth control. It just doesn't really agree with me. Yeah, I don't love taking artificial hormones. The idea of it, I don't love it. The idea of using tampons, don't love it either. You know, all these things sort of factor into why I wanted to try a menstrual cup. The fact that it's reusable, it's a one cost, you're saving money, you're lowering your impact on the environment. And I think people are just quite nervous to give it a go, give something like that a go. And mostly people that are nervous about it are possibly people that might not feel comfortable with their anatomy, might not feel comfortable with blood. Yeah, I have used it for 3 periods now and I absolutely love it. I am converted. And the thing that I probably love most about it is the fact that like my period doesn't inconvenience me anymore, if that makes sense. Because like you've always got to carry around tampons, you've always got to make sure you've got some, or pads, whatever you're using. And obviously there's people out there that free bleed and use period underwear and things like that. I'm mostly just people that use tampons are probably the people that would be more likely to try a menstrual cup, I would say. I think they should try a menstrual cup if you're somebody that uses tampons. My son like. So you're saving money, you're not worrying about if you've got any in your bag, you're not worrying about how to get rid of it if you're at somebody's house or whatever. You obviously don't want to flush them, you want to put them in the bin somehow discreetly. I probably have what I would say a medium to heavy period. There's especially 2 days, and that's maybe like day 2 and 3 where they're the heaviest. If I were using tampons, I'd pretty much, you know, have to change them probably, I want to say maybe like every 3 hours. Sometimes maybe less, like on those days. And that's the other thing too, having to watch like the clock to like, oh, I gotta take it out so I don't get toxic shock syndrome, that sort of thing, blood poisoning, all that good stuff. I'm not really educated in this subject in any way. I'm just more giving my personal opinion, a user review, I would say. So the first time I started using one was when I went camping. And some people might be like, what? Like, that's probably the worst time to start trying it. But if it was ever gonna test its convenience for me, camping would be the place. Because having your period and having to use tampons and things like that when you're out camping, luckily there were toilets and facilities to dispose of tampons, etc. And luckily I wasn't completely bush, but it is just like super inconvenient, especially when you're not like showering more as much as you would. I normally have 2 a day. Like I have one in the morning and I have one before I go to bed. So I was camping when I tried it for the first time, and I basically just like read a couple of things online about the best way to insert it and how often it needed to be changed and things like that. What it said in the instructions from memory was that it every 8 hours, but I think it's more dependent on your flow. When it's full, that's when you need to change it. And it's not like with a tampon when it gets full, like you leak and you leak good. It's more, you just kind of, it's gonna sound really weird, but you can kind of feel it, sense it, maybe like a little bit of spotting. Generally, like I know, you just know. I don't even know how or why, but you just know. The first day of my period, I can like put it in of a morning and I swap it, I empty it, wash it when I have that shower at night. My recommendation on how to use a menstrual cup, my tips to make it easy if you're starting out, is figure out a position that you're most comfortable with inserting it and the way you like to insert it, because you're meant to. So I'll use this. So if this is your menstrual cup, they have what's called a C-fold, and you basically fold it like this and pinch it together like that. Now, if you've got a menstrual cup, it's much smaller than this when it's folded. And then you then insert it, and as you insert it, you kind of like release it and turn it, and then it'll pop out like that and then sit under your cervix, cupping your cervix, catching whatever comes out. And then it's got like a little like thing on the end, I guess is for people to use to grab it and pull it out. I don't, because it's so tiny. I can never like get a good grip on it anyway, and it's like pretty slippery. This is the particular cup I use. Just up from, just at the bottom base of it, it has like 3 rings around it, and that's what I grab. You don't need to push it in as far as a tampon, okay? You don't need to push it all the way up there, because let me tell you, when I was camping, I was insecure and I pushed it all right the way up there, and it would have like suctioned really onto my cervix. And look, me and my mother went through something that night when I tried to get it out. We really did. And if you're watching this, Mum, I'm really sorry. She heard things, she saw things. It was a little traumatic. And that night, I was like, you know what, I give up, it's fine. Like, I went to bed. The next day I went to the shower and did what I needed to do to rinse it and whatever. Anywho, so tip 1, insertion, find the best fold, find the best position. I would recommend doing it in the shower, like if you happen to be about, like if you wake up and you realize you got your period, have a shower, then do it. If not, just pop it on in there. Tip 2. When possible, take it out in the shower and rinse it in the shower and reinsert it in the shower. This method is the most easiest, mess-free way of doing it. Now, when you're going to pull it out, tip 3, pulling it out. Find the best way to do that. For me, I squat down, your pelvic floor moves forward as if you're pushing out a baby, and I use these fingers, grab those ridges around the bottom, and you kind of got to push it in to break the seal and then pull it out. And by Jesus to the Lord above, sweetie, don't tip that thing, you keep that balance. And don't squeeze it too hard because you'll have a volcano of blood, and we don't want that. So you squeeze it a little to break the seal, pull it down slow, balanced. Even when it's out, keep the balance until it's in front of you and you can deal with it, okay? Then you rinse it out down the drain, rinse it under water, soap, beautiful, Seafold. Back up there again. Great, good, done. On a good average period day, morning shower, night shower. You can go all night without leaking, fine. In those day 2 and day 3 for me, where it's super, super heavy, and if you've got a pretty heavy period, I probably have to empty it 3 to 4 times a day, which would be comparable to tampons, yes. But for the remainder of my period, which is another 4 to 5 days on top of that, morning, night, that's it. I don't know if this is just me, but I cannot feel the menstrual cup. I can't feel it. Got it in right now, I can't feel it. With a tampon, I can feel it, and I know it's there. I don't know. Maybe because a menstrual cup is up on your cervix, it's not really, I don't know. And it's silicone, I don't know. I don't notice it whatsoever. It's more flexible, is probably why, than rigid. You may be wondering, Jamie, what do I do if I want to empty it and I'm not got a shower, or I have to do it in the middle of the day at work, or I'm out camping? What do I do? It's a great question, and that leads me to tip 4. Have handy a bottle of water. And this is what I did camping, and I feel like it's a genius idea. I keep a bottle of water in the toilet up on the windowsill. It's obviously not for drinking, it's for rinsing. When you're sitting down on the toilet, we grab like this. So, we don't want to be fling, flinging it all around everywhere, because it'll be a murder scene and you'll traumatize yourself. Okay, sit down on the toilet, pull it out, bring it up, then I empty it down into the toilet, bottle of water, just rinse it out, yeah, reinsert. And that's my biggest tip, because that's gonna get you being able to use the menstrual cup confidently no matter where you are. And if you're at work, just make sure you have a bottle of water handy. Trust me when I say, if you're not doing it during the shower, then be sitting on the toilet while you take it out in case of rogue drips. It'll change your life. And that's really all my tips. If you've got any more questions about it, head over to my Instagram. I'll pop it up here on the screen. It's just at FNQ Mama. DM me, ask me some questions. Not an inconvenience for me. I love it. If you are someone that has heavy periods and you're sick of leaking through tampons, and you're sick of the whole inconvenience of tampons, then I would definitely recommend trying a menstrual cup. I bought the Diva cup just purely because I was walking past it at Woolies. It was on sale, and I was like, you know what, now's the time. I'm gonna grab it and test it out, and it's great. We should just be talking about this stuff. It shouldn't be something that's uncomfortable to discuss at all. Yeah. If you like this kind of video where I kind of talk about womanly issues, things that are a little, you know, we don't normally discuss, kind of like a product review. If you like this, give it a thumbs up so I know that I can, you know, do other videos like this for you. Hit that subscribe button for me, be a part of the family. I'm assuming a lot of you are mums that watch me, or just females in general. If you're a dude, hey. I need help. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would absolutely appreciate that so much. Tell your mama friends about my channel if you feel like that, you know, they could come along with me on the journey of motherhood. I'm not really like a normal mom. I'm just like a bit of a weirdo, and I like watching relatable weirdos. But look at me go for uploading like 3 videos in 3 weeks. Alright. Bye bye.